Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John on a 890 Adventure R. Just having a great ride here. It's a very cool winter's day here, but it's a good day. It's a good day to be out riding, and that's the cool part about riding is just getting out there. It always feels good. And it's kind of a dreary day, but you know what? It's not raining. So I thought, let's get out here and just enjoy a little ride. One thing I like about the 890 is I like driving it on the highway. And I don't have to wring this motor out past $4.5 grand, and I'm just accelerating really briskly. And I like the upright riding position. I like the suspension. I like everything about this bike. The fuel tank took a little bit getting used to, just the looks of it, but it holds so much fuel and it's so functional, making it easy to tip in and out. I love it. I've gotten used to the looks. I don't mind it anymore. So that's not even a con. I just have a real hard time finding something that's a negative on this bike. I love the torque of the 890 motor. Fuel range with around 5 gallons is great. I don't have to worry about fuel. I mean, there's just so many pros to this bike. Yeah, the windshield was maybe a con, but with this in the high position with my little wing, it seems to do fine. But on the pavement, it's just so much fun to drive. Plenty of power. It has torque, so if you want to torque it around, torque out of a corner, pull out of a corner, you can do that. Here I am going in a corner at 3 grand. And usually I'd shift down, but really don't need to. Plenty of torque to just pull you right out. I forget that I'm on an adventure bike when I'm riding this because it feels like it was, like it's a street bike. But with the fuel low, it's so easy just to dodge potholes and tips in easy. I think I'm going to stay lower in the foothills today just because I think I'm going to hit snow. I hit snow last week on a ride, so I'm going to try to stay a little lower so I can just ride a little longer. The ride last week was pretty short, but the gravel is extra tacky today because it's wet. It feels like pavement. Very little spin when I come out of that corner. I have this set on a 5. That's where I keep it most of the time. It lets me, slip setting that is on a 5. Lets me get a little slip, but still makes a correction if it needs it. A very subtle one. I'm in ride mode rally, but I'm in throttle mode street and ABS off-road. I do like the throttle in street mode because it does seem to let me modulate that throttle a little better. I have to really twist it, and then it's kind of continuous modulation through the range where I can get more or less throttle. Whereas if I'm in rally mode, it does get can be pretty abrupt. But if I were in sand or somewhere where I wanted good delivery of power, or someplace really open, I think I'd go for the rally mode. I think I'd be fine. See, there's just a series of chuck holes, and I just got on the throttle, and the front end floated over all 6 of them or whatever there was. Slow down, I'm going to take a left here. Alright. Oh, that was fun. This was breaking the back end loose, but very controlled slide. Little washboard here. This bike handles it so well. I mean, I am standing up there, or at least off the seat a little bit. bike does. So controlled. Good torque coming out of the corner too. Well, and that's the cool part of an adventure bike, is you can be so comfortable on road, and then there I am on gravel and I'm very comfortable off-road. Very, very nice. Boy, things are so soft right now, gravel. Roads are so soft, but they get really tacky when they're like this. Any kind of a tread pattern will just really dig into these. Anything with any traction, that is. Oh, it's interesting. It's so soft where the people have been driving, it's like groove pavement. You can feel the front tire wanting to track around a little bit. A little throttle can't solve. Just an old gravel back road. I don't know what you're gonna meet up here. Dreary day, but a beautiful day. It's nice being out here in the country and the different colors. Greens, yellows. Just a beautiful day. Getting a little bit of rain here, but it's still fun. It looks like I am getting a little moisture in my screen. I don't know if you can see that around the edge there. Kind of right here and right here. It's not in the viewable part of the screen, so I'm just going to let it go. But my 790 did get some moisture in the screen and was replaced under warranty, but this one so far has been okay. I have to admit, I do sometimes put a little saran wrap over it when I'm washing the bike. Because I think I kind of felt like it maybe got penetrated when I was washing the machine. But I'm not sure. This one seems to be getting just a little around the edges. Like I said, it's not in the viewable part, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But certainly if it starts to get in the lit up part of the screen, I will take that in for warranty. But my 790 did do that. So I guess earlier I was saying I didn't have any complaints. So maybe that could be a complaint that I was hoping that would have been fixed on the 890, but it appears to be a thing. And again, not a big thing, hasn't impacted function, and it's not even in the viewable part, so I can live with it. But if it gets into the viewable part and becomes distracting, it'll probably be worth taking in. So I'm not surprised, since my other one had the issue. But it tells me that even if it was replaced under warranty, it'd probably do the same thing again eventually, because it's not fixed, obviously. Maybe they'll come up with a fix for that. But in Oregon it rains a lot. We're in inclement weather more than we're in good weather, and that could be annoying. But if it doesn't get in where it's affecting function or anything, I can live with it. It's just around the black edges of the screen, in a sense, the monitor. So anyway, just something I thought I would point out. Pros of the bike, things I like, are many. I like being able to be down here at 2,000, 2,500 RPM and then pull out of a corner. And I like the suspension. I like the riding position. I like the fuel capacity. I like the fuel being held down low. I like that the suspension handles off-road big hits, and it seems to handle the little hits well too. It's been really a pretty compliant ride. The brakes, the rear brake is just average, so not a complaint or a con, but the front brakes on the 890 are good. They improve these a lot. Nice firm feel. On the 790 I felt like I was always wanting a little more, but not on this. 890 seems to have plenty of braking power in the front. A firmer feel, and you don't have to go through the lever as far before you get lots of bite. And one thing about, I think, most KTMs, not all, is just the nice upright commanding riding position, kind of like you're on a dirt bike. I always feel like I have really good visibility, can see what I'm doing, you know, what's coming up on the road. I love that. Of course, I guess an associated con of that is height of the bike, but I've kind of learned to deal with that. I have a 30-inch inseam. I'm 5'6" and a half, so I've learned to deal with it pretty effectively. It doesn't bother me, and I do need to do a video on that for you shorter riders on some tips that I've come up with. This is pretty sloppy through here, and this bike just, it's roots, I mean not roots, but ruts, and this thing tracks really smooth through all this. It's doing well. Doing a good job. I like how you just don't have to rev this thing out at all to get power. There's plenty of low end grunt, but if you feel like revving it out, get more RPMs, it does fine with that too. The gravel roads. Just eats them up. Very confidence inspiring between the very good brakes, good torque, nice power, suspension. It just all goes together for a nice package. It's fun to ride. That washboard right there, I didn't even feel it. Also helps moving along at a decent clip. Oh wow, it's foggy up here. It's pretty crazy how, depending on elevation, you can be where you can see for quite a ways, and the next thing you know, you're literally up in the clouds, up in the fog. But I haven't hit snow yet, so we'll just keep rolling. This is when a GPS can be good. I found that if I have the sun, I do pretty good with orienting myself to location if I'm in an area that I'm not familiar with. But man, if it's a day like this where the fog gets thick, if you've never been in a certain area before, it can be hard to really know where you're going or get direction from just kind of your sense of direction. You know, when you can't get an orientation from the sky or any landmarks. So, as you've noticed, I put a GPS on all my bikes, and I rode for years without one, but Sometimes I'll go places I'm not familiar with, and I've had once or twice, not a bunch, but once or twice where it really did help me get back by zooming out, seeing kind of where the coastline was and which direction I was trying to go, and then kind of picking a road or something based on that. So just, GPS can definitely be functional, but with phones and things, usually you can get some kind of reception somewhere eventually with the phone, so it's not as important as maybe it was years ago, but I still like having a GPS. I think this is the Sumo Garmin XT that I have. I'll see if I can turn that on. The 890 does have a accessory point behind the headlight. You have to disassemble the headlight. There's a couple accessory points, accessory 1 and 2. Can't remember which one I tapped into, but the Garmin XT has a nice screen. It's, has a touch screen. And it works really well. I haven't had any problems with it. I'm using the KTM factory plastic mount for that. Seems to work fine. It's lightweight. I'm not concerned about the weight as much as where it mounts. If it gets heavy, it seems to put more strain on the mount, so light is fine in this application. Here, lots of gravel on the highway, so we're just not going to tip into any corners real steep here. They obviously had some ice up here and lots of gravel. It's not icy now, it's about 30.
Say a command. Cancelled.
So we're just going to kind of cruise along here. Not try to lean into the corners too hard so we're not putting too much pressure through the tires. Lots of gravel. And really foggy. Holy cow. It just took a few minutes, but we got back, came off a mountain a little bit, we're out of the fog. Still pretty cool at 39 degrees, but at least I can see what I'm doing now. It was so foggy back there, even with the pin lock visor, it was just condensation was gathering on the inside of the helmet. I'm probably slurring my words because it's so cold. But actually I'm staying warm though. Have a little heated vest on, have it turned up a little bit. Have my gloves on with some glove liners. Have a Klim or Klein Powercross gloves with Klim glove liners. This bike is so nice through the corners. Again, I'm not going to trust these tires too much today because it's awfully wet and there's gravel intermittently dispersed on here from when it was icy earlier in the week. We're supposed to get some snow later this week down at the valley floor, which we're only at 500 feet, well, 200 to 500 feet above snow level, or excuse me, valley floor, sea level, 200 to 500 feet above sea level, so I don't know. We don't get a lot of snow here, but you can drive to it up in the mountains. I kind of like it that way. So good on the highway. This has a lot of bumps to it. It's not a smooth highway, so that's one thing about adventure bike that I like is on my street bike, it's not bad, but I'll feel the road a little more. And with the adventure suspension set up to handle big hits, man, you can just cruise down a road like this and it just feels great. Got that long travel suspension ready to gobble up the road. Some of He's turning. Always try to expect a car to turn. See, that person's waiting. So that's cool, but I was guarding the brake. I saw that car getting ready to turn in front of me before I entered the turn and was kind of guarding the brake, was slowing down. If he had turned, I was ready to put the brakes on. So always be ready when you can if you do see a car that looks like it could make that left-hand turn in front of you. Most of us who have been riding a while, we've all had somebody pull in front of us at one time or another, so always be on the lookout for that. I do like to guard the brake if I see something like that happening. In that case, I even took off a little speed just in case I came around the corner and I had a car there. It's nice to be out in the fog and to be able to see some distance. Middle line was slick. Felt the back end step out a little bit. Wasn't expecting that. So that's something to be aware of. Is I kind of always knew paint on roads can be slick, but just a friendly reminder, man. Paint can be slick. Definitely had my back end step out for just a minute, just a second. Out of this corner, 890 to Solo. Oh, definitely some snow in the mountains over there. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but Lost Mountain Range, definitely lots of snow. That's cool. We don't get, said being near the coast, we don't get that much snow here. It's just a very mild climate. So I just completed a big loop here. Started out on pavement, gravel roads. Was up over there in the mountains in the distance before I kind of rode out. Now, for the sake of time, I'm taking a main highway home. And this bike, what I like about it, you can cruise along 60 plus and you don't feel the speed, and it's got enough of a fairing on it that it keeps the wind off of me. So that's another pro, enough of a fairing to be able to get on the highway and not really have it, I'm not being pushed on, my trunk isn't being pushed on. I could ride like this a long, long time. Like people have said, without the windshield in the high position and without this little extender wing, I do get more buffeting, but as it is, it's almost bypassing over the top of my helmet. But just a nice bike to do a combination of riding with. Alright, well, thanks for riding along today. Hope you all are having a good day, and wishing us all the best as in 2022. And thanks again for watching. Please feel free to leave comments if there's something you'd like to see or see me talk about more, or something you're wondering about the 890, any questions you might have. I'll do my best to get to those in a timely manner. And just wish you all the best. Keep riding. And like many of I had a viewer say, you never see a motorcycle in front of a psychiatrist's office, and that's true. I mean, it was kind of a bleak day, but I got on the bike, and you know what? It's been a good thing. It's been a good thing to get out riding today. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thanks for watching today. Seize the day. Take care. Till next time.